and welcome to Trendz Travel. We are bringing you this exciting episode from famous poppies in Melville. In our first segment, we are going to Mozambique for some sun, sea and nightlife, then off to Tsokosan for some fine dining and wine. Coming up next on Trendz Travel this week, we soak up some sun and party the night away in Mozambique. We visit some fun festivals. We dedicate a segment to quirky eats. And finally, old world transport. All this and so much more on Trendz Travel this week.
Mozambique boasts over 2,700 kilometers of coastline. Much of it excellent beachfronts for sunbathing, surfing, fishing, diving, and just enjoying being in Mozambique.
The coastline is meaning everything for us. It's a source of food, it's a source of jobs, it's a source of tourism. So our coast is...
Tofo Beach in Imhambane province is popular with tourists and locals alike. Although you will find more Europeans and South Africans here.
But when they take holidays, they go to Nelspruit, they go to Johannesburg, but never go to Tofo. Yeah. You see, at the end of the year, you see a lot of cars coming from South Africa to Mozambique. And Mozambiques are going to South Africa for shopping.
There are plenty of inexpensive guest houses to choose from, usually costing between $20 and $80 per night. With plenty of fish around, a nice seafood meal will only set you back a few bucks. Leonardo Gungulo is a former fisherman. He now takes tourists diving on the nearby reef.
It's about most of people are coming to see a manta rays, sharks. On the winter, most of the time to see a humpback whales. I know some countries doesn't have any sea. When they come here and they find the sea, our beautiful sea with the waves, they just want to experience, to see those manta rays, 7 meters manta rays, dolphins, turtles, because our sea, it does have pretty much everything.
For a couple $100, Leonardo can train you as a diver in just 2 days. Once you are licensed, you're out on the reef with the rest of the sea life enthusiasts. They can even show you how to take your own photos and video underwater. For those who want some privacy, there are plenty of stretches of secluded beach in Tofo. But if you want to mix with the locals, as usual, music brings Africans together. The World Tourism Council says that tourism contributed 7.6% of Mozambique's GDP in 2013. It accounts for 2.4% of employment in the country as well. And if you can spend all your time at the beach, Imhambane has an unspoiled countryside to visit.
Very good, very interesting farm here in Mozambique. Not only at sea, if you go to Lake Nyasa, for example, you still have a very good, very beautiful sport fishing. So we still protect. I think Mozambique is still a travel destination.
If you enjoy fishing, of course, there's also the rest of the coastline that you can explore. Even Even the capital, Maputo, sees its share of fishing excursions.
An afternoon of soiree at one of Johannesburg's premier dining spots, the Sandton Sun. But we aren't just regular guests to the hotel, we dine at the chef's table. A beautifully decorated table in the kitchen for VIPs. Sogo's son attends some of the country's biggest wine auctions and purchases the top-of-the-range wines, specifically the Nederburg and Cape Winemakers Guild auctions.
What we did today was to showcase some of the auction wines that we purchased recently at the Cape Winemakers Guild as well as at the Nederburg auction. Today's showcase was to give each and everyone the opportunity to sample those dishes as well as to sample those wines paired accordingly. And so working alongside the executive chef of Sandton Sun, Garchnier, what we did is come up with pairings that we wouldn't normally find on our restaurant menu. The aim was to actually really highlight both sides of both the culinary and the wine side.
And with the wine comes a pairing of decadent foods from head chef Gart Schneer. But first, we break some bread. And then the first pairing, a charmingly garnished plate with pea and whipped feta espuma, mascarpone and roasted asparagus panchiotti and confit plum tomatoes, and lastly, smoked mushroom cheesecake with a mushroom pottage, all paired with 4 delicious wines. So how do these experts know which wine to pair with a certain dish?
There's a process to follow, and the process is about seeking quality, seeking the best possible wine South Africa and the rest of the world have to offer. But what I mean by quality is, first and foremost, we sell wine in a restaurant, bar environment, hotel environment. So we're looking for wines that already have an affinity to be paired with food. We are looking at wine that showcase elegance, wines that have freshness, wines that actually are representative of their style, representative of, let's say, if it's the label says it's a Chardonnay, it needs to taste, it needs to smell, it needs to be like the great Chardonnays of the world. And we do that, we do this exercise as a team, and we look and we seek how we can actually bring those wines to our wineries, to our hotels, to add value to the dining experience.
There must be thousands of wines out there, but here you're offered the finest wines and champagne selected by connoisseurs. So the simple question is, what makes an award-winning wine?
Very good question. Well, great wine is about balance. It's about, it needs to have the fruit element, it needs to have the freshness, it needs, wine after all is alcohol. The alcohol shouldn't be overpowering, nor too weak, and if it's a red wine, it needs to have enough tannin to have structure, to have a firmness to it, and if it's a white wine, it's about elegance, it's about finesse. So what defines a great wine today is there's a lot of benchmarking in the wine industry. As an example, if we look at the Sauvignon Blanc, what makes a great Sauvignon Blanc, we always base ourselves from 2 countries around the world, which is France in the Loire Valley, which makes the great Sancerre, and then we look at New Zealand, who makes equally striking, fruit-forward, really explosive style of Sauvignon Blanc. And if we look at the style that's produced in South Africa, they're set somewhere in between those 2 countries. So our best example of Sauvignon Blanc have the restraint and the freshness of what one would find in France, yet would have the forthcoming fruit and the richness of Sauvignon Blanc that one would often encounter in New Zealand. So by bridging the 2, it's about seeking out what best represents a style.
As the old saying goes, you mature like a fine wine. But I've always wondered if there's any truth to that phrase. Haven't you?
Absolutely. There is a mystique about wine consumption, wine enjoyment, and for a very long time, especially in Europe, where wine was made in such a way that it needed at least 10 years to be drinkable. However, the world has changed so much in the way and the style wines are being produced, where wines are readily enjoyable on release. What I say by release is a wine could have been made last year, at last harvest, 2016, 12 months later, the wine is absolutely drinkable, gorgeous, fresh, fruity, juicy, And this is pretty much where the market have shifted, and also giving people the opportunity to drink wine, so they didn't have to actually think or look at wine as dryness. Yes.
Great food and amazing wine all in one afternoon. What more could a girl ask for?
If you've just joined us, unfortunately, you've missed out on some great beaches in Mozambique and some fine dining and great wine in a Zokosan kitchen. But don't you worry, because after the break, we have our very exciting festival segment. Before the break, I promised you excitement, and excitement is what you're surely going to get. In this segment, we explore festivals across the world. We go to Brazil for some samba, Haiti for some culture, and some very, very interesting looking tattoos. Enjoy. Things are heating up in Rio de Janeiro with less than a week before Carnival celebrations officially kick off. On Sunday, thousands of revelers turned out for pre-Carnival street parties and parades, including the famous Armpit of Christ, named for its location near Rio's famed Christ the Redeemer statue. Musicians played live music for revelers who danced through the streets dressed in all sorts of costumes. Carlos Medeiros was exuberant.
Maravilha, a gente vem com energia de lá pra cá, curtindo o tempo todo, só que chegando aqui tem muito mais energia ainda pra gastar aqui no bloco. Pra pular, pra curtir, pra gandaiar aí no carnaval.
Several men dressed as women, a typical costume at Rio Carnival parties. The little ones also got into the spirit with babies and small children dancing with their parents in fancy dress. Reveler Felipe Sá brought his daughter.
Isso aqui é a expressão espontânea do nosso carnaval, da nossa alegria. Isso aqui, eu venho no sovaco, eu tenho 41 anos, eu venho no sovaco desde os 5, entendeu? Aqui, ó, já tá começando. Isso aqui passa e leva a gente, é só brincadeira.
Carnival celebrations will officially launch after work on Friday night and run through March. Hundreds of tiny superheroes, princesses, and pirates took over a Rio de Janeiro plaza on Saturday, proving no one is too young to get into the carnival spirit. It was family time at the annual Children's Blocko, as carnival street parties are known here, as moms and dads decked out in fancy dress took their costumes little ones for a spin. Lawyer Andre Souza took some time away from the office to celebrate with his young son.
Alegria para eles, né, vivendo essa movimentação cultural, popular, e se ambientando com isso. Não sei se ele vai ser fã de carnaval que nem um pai, mas é muito bom poder curtir com eles.
A live band played children's tunes with the distinctive carnival beat, typical of the boisterous street parties Rio's Carnival is famous for. It was the 11th year of the children's street party known as the Blocko da Pracinha, and parents said they could not have been more pleased to have a carnival party designed especially for the smallest of revelers. Little Felipe Rosa was all smiles.
Tá muito bom nesse dia maravilhoso, nesse carnaval do Rio de Janeiro.
Boys and girls had the run of things as they sprayed each other with foam and threw glittering confetti into the air. And for parents, it was the perfect setting to enjoy Carnival without the worries that come with rowdy crowds at other blockos.
É muito bom, é divertido, traz espírito de carnaval, traz espírito de família, de amigos. A gente está aqui com os primos, com os amigos.
Rio's world-famous Carnival started officially on February the 24th. Dressed as dragons, propping up stilts and dancing in the streets, thousands of Haitians celebrated the opening of Carnival in the commune of Jacmel. The town is located along the southern Haitian coast that was hit hard by Hurricane Matthew in October. Jacmel, a tourist town, was also hit hard by the massive earthquake that rocked the Caribbean nation in 2010. Since then, city officials have been striving to rebuild local tourism. Jacmel has a permanent population of more than 100,000. Haitians flock to the Carnival there.
Là, c'est un pays, donc pour faire carnaval, mais là, quel que soit mon nom, on va pas venir. Président là, ministre là, sénateur là, député là, donc c'est nous qui appelons. Donc c'est carnaval pas nous, et nous n'avons plus high level là.
Hurricane Matthew killed almost 900 people and left tens of thousands homeless back in October. Attendees, though, were focused on the celebrations.
cherché ça longtemps. Et puis nous voyons qu'il y a plus de monde qui débarque, plus de touristes, plus de blancs, on prend. Donc motivation. Donc en fait, on nous senti que le carnaval a bien passé là.
In addition to trying to recover from national disasters, Haiti is also hoping to inject some normalcy into its political life. With the resolution of Haiti's political crisis, revelers said it took a load off at the celebrations.
Le carnaval là, il est très bon. Et l'année dernière, moi, il était moins bon. Et peut-être à cause de problèmes politiques. Mais l'année ça, moi, il est bon. Il prend en intensité.
Carnival in Haiti goes back to 1804, and not even the country's devastating 2010 earthquake was enough to eliminate celebrations.
For the 8th consecutive year, Caracas is hosting its Tattoo Expo, bringing together 400 tattoo artists on a national and global scale. The event brings together hundreds of tattoo and piercing artists, thousands of body modification aficionados, and a host of international tattoo celebrities. Renowned tattoo artist Paul Booth is among those featured. He has won many awards for his work and is known for having elevated tattoo art into the realm of fine art.
Well, I've only really seen the close area. I haven't seen much of Venezuela yet. After this show, I get to go around and be a tourist a little bit, you know, so looking forward to that. But I've had a great time. The fans here are really enthusiastic and really happy and welcoming. You know, it's my first time in Venezuela, so very happy to have like such a great response, you know.
The event also brought in members of the Venezuelan diaspora.
No, increíble, increíble. Siempre hablo con Emilio, el organizador, y es increíble porque yo estuve en las primeras ediciones y era bien pequeñito en otro centro comercial, esta vez súper grande, artistas de gran talla mundial. No solamente eso, el crecimiento de los artistas en Venezuela ha sido increíble. Yo siempre he dicho que a veces con nuestras dificultades, con los pocos recursos que logramos acá, lograr hacer un trabajo increíble.
Among special guests is Guinness World Record holder Ralph Buchholz from Germany, who has tattooed 90% of his body and holds the most body piercings in the world. His fascination with the world of piercings began at 11, and now at 55 years old, he has a total of 453 piercings, mainly centered on his face and private parts.
It's my second time here at Venezuela Tattoo Expo. I was here last year. It was so great. The people are so nice. It's a great show.